Welcome to the Phoenix Neighborhood Patrol's YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about making a PNP log entry for mileage reimbursement purposes as it relates to the Blockwatch Grant Program. The City of Phoenix has a Blockwatch Grant Program where neighborhood groups can apply for grant funds, and up to $1,000 of those grant funds can be requested to be for PNP mileage reimbursement. The neighborhood manages the funds and makes the reimbursement. Phoenix Neighborhood Patrol's role is to simply provide them the documentation of what hours and miles their members patrolled on their behalf. This documentation is used for mileage reimbursement or for the actual reimbursement, as well as to send in with their quarterly grant reports. The PNP logs have changed over the years. We started off as handwritten paper logs. And in 2016, we started transitioning to an online paperless method. We use volunteer.phoenix.gov. It's the same program used by most of the City of Phoenix volunteer programs. It can be accessed by your computer or smartphone. For mileage reimbursement purposes, there are some requirements of what must be included in your log entry. There must be a date. The total hours must be entered, as well as the total miles patrolled. You must have a starting and ending odometer listed, as well as a license plate for the vehicle used in patrol. A separate log sheet or log entry must be made for each patrol shift. If a vehicle does not have an operational or working odometer, then it does not qualify for mileage reimbursement per the Blockwatch grant rules. There's only one reimbursement made per shift. If two of you are patrolling together, only one of you can claim the mileage for reimbursement purposes. Log entry should not be anything new to the PNP members. We've been using it for several years. New members get their username and password when they complete the class. To log in, you would go to volunteer.phoenix.gov. It'll take you to a page that looks like this one. The photo on the page is actually a slideshow, so that will change, but it should look something like this. To log in, you select the login button on the right, where the big blue arrow is now pointing. That will take you to a login screen. Like I said, each PNP member should have a username and password already assigned to them. If they don't know what it is, they need to contact the PNP coordinator, and they can get that for them. The contact information is at the very end of this video. So again, they put your username in here, the password goes below it, and you click on the login button. When you do that, it'll take you to this screen that says welcome back and the PNP member's name. From there you go to over here to the left where it says report my service. You click on report my service, and that will open up a log sheet. Maybe open up the log sheet a little bit bigger, blow it up, make it easier to see. And these are the areas that are going to be highlighted in red that are mandatory. The date. You must have both date fields filled out, the starting and the ending. Obviously, if you're out on for one day, it'll be the same date in both boxes. If you're out past midnight, then you'd have two separate dates. If you decide to do your log sheet or your log entry the same day as your patrol, the system will automatically put today's date in there for you. The next thing is your patrol hours. These are full hours, so if you're out there for a part of an hour, you'll have to convert it to a decimal point. My recommendation is you round it to the nearest or next 15 minutes or quarter of an hour. That makes doing the decimal point conversion very simple. 15 minutes, that's a quarter of an hour, that's 0.25. 30 minutes, that's half an hour, that's 0.5. And 45 minutes, that's 3/4 of an hour, or 0.75. The next thing you need to put in there is the total miles. This particular part of the program does not do math. And you'll have to subtract your odometer readings and figure out what your total miles are. The next three I lumped together. It's the odometer starting and ending entry, as well as the license plate. You need to have an entry from when you begin your patrol shift, as well as when you end your patrol shift, so we can see exactly how many miles were patrolled. Underneath that is the notes area. That's optional. I recommend you put something in there. And finally, you get down to the very bottom, there's an OK button. When you are ready to submit this log sheet, click the OK button, and it will submit the log sheet for you. And if everything was done correctly, you will come to this page where little tiny gray letters where the red circle just appeared, it says thank you. program accepted your log sheet. If there's any errors, it would have gave you an error message to tell you what was wrong. And at this point, we've just entered our very first mileage reimbursement log sheet. Going to the next section. You might need to verify some information or make a correction to a log sheet you had entered. Maybe you need to verify you entered a log sheet for last week or whenever. So let's go there. The easiest way to do that is you log in, you get to the welcome back page. And this time on the left, I want you to select View My Logbook, where that red circle is. And that is where how you open up your logbook. The logbook is simply what it shows you here is a report of what has been logged on your behalf for the time periods listed here on the screen. If the log entry you're looking for is not listed, make sure that the dates are correct. So change these dates to correspond with what you're looking for. So when you make change to the dates, go here to the right where that go box is, click go, and then it will open up a new report that will hopefully have your log entry in it. This one, the one we're looking for, February 14th, is listed. To make a change or correction to that one, you find that log entry and you put a check mark in the box where the red arrow is pointing. Click on that box, it will fill itself in, and that lets the computer know that's the entry you want to make a correction to. From here, you could get a choice. You have two purple boxes. One says Edit Selected Record. The other says Delete Selected Record. Delete Selected Record, clearly that deletes that record. You click that box. It will ask you one more time, are you sure? If you're sure you want to delete it, click OK, and that record is deleted. For this case, we want to talk about editing a selected record. That's probably the more common thing we need to do. So you click where it says Edit Selected Record, where the red arrow just pointed. And what that does is that will bring you up the log sheet that you had originally entered, and it'll enter it in an edit mode. So you go through there and you can make the changes you need to. When you're done making changes, again, there's an OK button at the bottom. You got to click OK, and that'll let the system know you're done with it. And if you did everything correctly, it will take you back to this page and say in tiny green letters, thank you. And that is how easy it is to do mileage reimbursement logs and how to fix them. If you have any questions, get a hold of the PNP coordinator. Their contact information is listed on the screen. Thank you guys for tuning in.